We're back here in the night shift. It's time for the EU Money Match. ZP here with Jake and Jason, and gentlemen, now we get to see how super the super team really is. The new final roster for Abrahams, well, for this week, up against Fearless Furies, which, you know, they had to revamp the roster on the fly. They had one player that was sleeping way too late. They had another player just leave their roster for their competition. But all in all, they get through the challenging match and they get to go up against the new Abrahams. So, you know, Jake, who knows what to expect?
What is that they say? You know, difficult times make strong people. Fearless Furies have been growing in strength here, and you know, Fremont looked amazing, right? For coming in on subbing off the bench, you wouldn't know it. The way this team played, the way they rallied around the shiv, and even like the heavy frontliner draft they went for, all looks great for me. That being said, the skill on this Abrahams roster is frankly terrifying. I will say, they had some absurd ringers last week too that are also, you know, insanely good players, and so. Okay, like, I don't know how much better they are going to be than last week, but they were already pretty fearsome then.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, who Novi Kim are good. I don't know if they're ABL DMOV good, if we're to compare them like 2 versus 2. But I mean, you're definitely right. I think
Hoot absolutely is.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot kick Hoot out there. But
I think though.
I mean, Obakim is more of a support player. It's like in theory a harder player to come in as a ringer if you're like a support, you're making like big calls, and that's how you're having your impact. As a ringer, that's just not going to fit as well. You know, bringing in just like players who, you know, play more of a carry role, can kind of like play their own game. It's a little bit more direct, I think, to have a successful entrance into a tournament as a ringer, to just like, hey, go your best character and pop off and carry the game. You don't have to talk, you know, like that's kind of what you want when it comes to who's going to slot in here as a ringer. But as you were saying, ABL and DMOV, really powerful wombo combo. I think the reason they're here together on this team is because these two wanted to play together. That was their priority. They both respect each other as some of the top players here in European Deadlock, and you can understand why. I mean, these guys play almost everything, and they always look good.
And if I'm not mistaken, DMOV gets to speak Russian too. Actually, I think they're all Russian or speak Russian together. So that really helps out DMOV, who's been just communicating in English the entire time with Buffenjoyers. And I mean, you're kind of seeing the impact that DMOV had on Buffenjoyers too, because they still have yet to return into the night shift, meaning he's that hard of a player to replace. And they're struggling to find someone who can kind of match how good of a player and how well-rounded and consistent he was. But even when Buffenjoyers come back, I just don't know if they can take on the team like Abrahams for a few weeks, if not potentially months. But also, I mean, thinking about how this roster can play out together, I feel like it's always been like him and Saf being the front line for the team. And now with like ABL and DMOV on the roster, I think it gives them a little bit more flexibility and takes a little bit more pressure off of his shoulders to be that front line for the team when they're running that. But I think the real pressure comes into Sonya Sniper, who's going to be taking over, I would assume, the M1 hero role for the team. And I mean, when Jam Side was a good player, but I feel like these days, if you want to be a good team in the long run, not to mention just right now, you have to have a good M1 player. And I think the pressure is definitely going to be on his shoulders.
And of course, the opposition, we just saw them one match ago. It's going to be the Fearless Furies, where, again, the roster, this has changed from the last roster slide we just had because we didn't know Fremont was coming in to sub. We had we had Arzo up there who maybe has woken up now. I actually don't know if Fremont's going to be in again, but given that the fact that we saw Fremont play a really good shiv, and the fact that Fremont is also another player that has been a staple in EU competition, maybe not seen as much recently, but you go back to the beginning of the year, Fremont was a key player on some of those Aegis Aurora squads that did really well. Maybe a little bit artificially enhanced by Kenny F, but you know, overall, still, you needed a team around all that to make it work. So interested to see what Fearless Furies could do here. Certainly not a team that you can prep for, because if you don't know what roster you're going to play, Jake, surely your opposition has no idea either.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I honestly, I don't think that that Abrahams are going to be too worried about what Fearless Furies wants to bring. I think Abrahams are such a good team; they're just going to like focus on playing their game, getting the best draft they can play, and taking over. Right? Like, I think that's. You know, if you're worried too much about countering what the opposition are doing, I think you're falling behind in a game like Deadlock. You have to be taking initiative. You have to have a vision for how the game is going to play it out. That's what Fearless Furies were able to bring last game, right? With this sort of a more solid deathball composition, and the execution was just much cleaner than their opposition. They were able to find a ton of pickoffs on those high mobility characters. However, if you just run back that last match against Abrahams, I just feel like the difference in skill between Abraham's ability to pilot those highly individualistic characters, like maybe ABL in the pocket just isn't getting caught there. You know, maybe Sonya on the holiday is just living a bit longer and, you know, more accustomed to playing kind of that solo M1 style where you need to get out of a dangerous engagement based on his experience playing Wraith. So Abraham's, I think this is like should be a really solid match for them, one where they can really put a showing on. And it's a great thing to have as a kind of, well, not exactly a new team, but as a team post shuffle to build some confidence going ahead to a potentially rebuilding Buff Enjoyer.
Also, before we get into the draft, it is worth noting that all the prize pool here today is essentially funded by our patrons, our subs, and you can directly add more to it by the ! donate link in chat. Right now, it's at $1,200 total, $600 per region.
1205.
Yeah, 12.5. That's right. I added $5. Part as a test to make sure everything was working, but also to contribute to the prize pool myself. But the draft is underway, and you know, kind of interesting here. Holiday just getting banned outright, so the holiday priority continues to go up. Jason,
I want to ask Jake a question. Actually, I think if we're all brutally honest, on paper, Abraham's should wipe the floor with Fearless Furies. Now, thinking back to your OWL days, or even before that, right? When you were playing a team that maybe you knew you were better than, did you go into those games with the same amount of respect that you would against, you know, like the Korean Cloud9 or whatever, like a team that you know was going to give you a tough challenge? Or do you like then go in that game focused on your own play style? Like, how did you approach those games where you knew you should win and you have the confidence that you will win?
I will say the brutal truth is that, especially if you think, because it's way beyond just understanding a team as a whole. Like at this level where players really know each other, they're like playing ranked all the time. They've like played against each other all the time. They have a feeling for each other. If you think there's like a couple players on the opposition team are weak, that's the scariest thing as an opponent, because it's not just, oh, we're a better team, we'll just play our game and win, which can be true. But if you think there's vulnerabilities in the opposition, you exploit those to the maximum. You don't focus the best player on their team. You focus the worst player on their team, and you just kill them over and over and over again, and then play from a 5v6. So that's the hardest thing to do when you're playing a strong team is, you know, if you're struggling at all in a game and you're getting focus fired, things go from bad to worse. And so depending on how if Abrams senses that vulnerability, I mean, I don't know, like I'm not on this level individually as a player, so I wouldn't be able to tell you like where Abrahams are going to poke the hardest. But any kind of crack that opens up in the team, any player who has like a weak game could really get focus fired.
So I need to jump in and say, draft-wise, before we go down that rabbit hole any further, Kelvin has been given up. Abrahams has said, okay, we're actually fine with you giving up the Kelvin, and they're giving up now likely Ivy and Paradox going in here because they want to secure the Yamato for ABL. Jason, as I'm looking at this, well, yes, Abraham's maybe going in with the better team roster on paper. Draft-wise, to me, this is giving up a lot of power for a partial comfort pick in the Yamato. And yeah, I mean, Infernus is meta, but okay, they still get the Paradox here. I do wonder about that, the prioing of Vindicta over Paradox when you had the opportunity for Fearless Furies.
Especially considering who's going to pilot it. You're giving Paradox to Taz right now. That's a scary move.
Well, either you give Paradox to Taz, or they pick Fearless Furies picks Paradox, and Abrahams gives Bebop to Demov.
Yeah,
or Taz.
yeah.
I think
that's true. That's true. You can't really avoid players like Taz getting something they want, but I do think Paradox is kind of the number one initiator right now, and I think Taz may be one of the best players in the world on the character. I mean, definitely is Bebop. One of the best.
They're gonna ban Bebop. Ban Bebop is actually so good here because they're not gonna pick it, I don't think, at this point. And Fearless Furies, okay.
Actually, okay.
Is Captain?
I respect that. Captain was kind of the GOAT on Abrams last game. Like the pickoffs he was able to find, and like the openings to so many of these fights, shutting down some of these high mobility characters. Like, if you're thinking about getting any kind of like a pocket here for Abrahams, any kind of like high mobility carry hero, you might want to take away some of that hard stun potential, right? Abrams in the late game with the Phantom Strike, Coffin kind of rushed it last game. He had it before 30 minutes, which, I mean, he had a pretty good game and a lot of kills, but he priored that earlier than some other builds might have. So I kind of like the idea of banning that out in terms of that's respect for Fearless Furies, right? That's respect for Captain. And honestly, I think it's a smart one considering Abrahams, they love some of these high mobility carries like Pocket. And I mean, used to play a lot of GT, although I think you're right. Likely it's going to be an ABL Yamato just because that's been really his calling card for the last few weeks.
Jason, do you see the Fremok hit right now between getting the Shiv ban early on and the Viscous ban after? It's going after Fremok's hero pool. It's effectively putting Fremok on Mo and Krill, is it not?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I've kind of like forgotten what Fremok's played because he hasn't really been around in the scene too often, at least in our matches. I know for like the Viscous pick, D-Maw is going to be more than happy to play Viscous and allows ABL to be even more aggressive on the Yamato. But for Fremok, I believe he also did play a lot of Vindicta in the past. I don't know if he's going to be picking up for this roster in particular. But I do kind of respect Abraham's here taking away the Shiv and the Abrams, knowing it was so successful for them in the last game. And it's forcing some different picks like Billy and even now with Sinclair coming through out of the Furies, which I believe Sinclair would be played by Fremok.
You know, Jake, as you take a look at how this one is developing, you know, Abraham's, a lot of their picks in the beginning, you know, making a lot of sense. They go for the comfort pick with ABL onto Yamato, but probably across all of NAU, the one team that values Yamato the highest, they still get Paradox in the end. And also, if this was the idea of we hate Fremok in particular, well, they just picked up the Mo and Krill, so now I have no idea what Fremok is going to play, because this feels like a John level just crime that we're seeing here, where John got like ultra hard targeted in NA a while back.
Yeah, I think that's partially the case, although I do think that, especially after the new heroes dropped, I think a lot of players have like expanded their pools. One thing I will say is that Abrahams are not exactly all in on Infernus carrying the game, but this is a very early game tempo heavy draft. Like they've gone with basically solo carry Infernus. I mean, Yamato can somewhat be that if you do snowball the game. However, the Fearless Furies so far, we'll see what their sixth pick is. It's going to be a Bebop. Fearless Furies actually have a very good draft for making a comeback team fight happen. I don't think the laning phase is bad, but I think having like Kelvin, Billy, Ivy, to me, you get like the, Abrahams is ahead. They're trying to like force some fight, force some objective. You get a big Billy ult to set up for like, you got Rabbit Hex, you got Tether from Vindicta, you got Kelvin Dome, you got Ivy bringing the damage. That's a super scary threat, no matter what the net worth status of the game is. I guess Yamato could shrug it all off, right, with the Shadow Transformation. Maybe that's going to be part of the key. But Fearless Furies, I think even if they fall behind this game, they have win cons and they can still threaten in big team fights. Abrahams need to find these pickoffs. They need to play split. But that was kind of the same game we saw last series, and the Fearless Furies were able to grab the win. So I like that they're sticking to their guns. Obviously, I still think Abrahams are going to be the heavy favorite in this game. I still think they're going to be able to close it out. But I think if I were Fearless Furies, I would have gone the same direction. Have some sick team fight, have some sick comeback potential, and some pretty nice lanes. I mean, Sinclair usually just crushes wherever lane he goes. I'm very curious to see is it going to be like a Sinclair Bebop lane? I mean, it's actually kind of hard to guess what the setup is going to be for the Furies here.
Also, I'm seeing some chatter in chat wondering, where's Puckett? Well, Puckett has been the international man of mystery. He's been doing international Call of Duty lands. He's been doing a lot of traveling. And based on Twitter, I think he got stranded in an airport for like 24 hours the other day, because air travel in the U.S. has not been particularly good as of late due to happening. So, yeah,
Don't lie. Puckett is still stuck in his Viscous outfit from 2 weeks ago. We have not been able to find the zipper to get out of it.
We can't talk about that. Like, we have to pay for the jaws of life to go over the Puckett's house.
He's still trying to make a mouth hole for it. He's just trying to get enough sustenance.
Look, it's been a thing. We're reasonably sure Puckett will survive. But yeah, look, if you want to focus on happy things, you can also donate to the prize pool. Does that help Puckett? Probably not. Does it help our players get a little bit more money if they win? Absolutely, with the exclamation point donate link. So that is there. And you may be wondering, why are they stalling? Why are we not in game? Well, in classic fashion, we just had an update while we've been going on here. I don't think it was a major update, but yeah, there's an update at the moment, so we're waiting.
Almost a nice percent.
We don't like that graph. Hopefully it'll be a short downtime here. Hopefully see what it's looking like if our players are the ones affected by this. But we'll have to see.
I have a topic though.
Hit me with it.
I have a topic we can discuss. So I think I have to correct the question I was asking because it wasn't quite the answer I was looking for before, like while we're getting to draft. The angle I was going for when I discussed like when your team go into a match that you maybe know you're better than a team, one thing I noticed in esports, I think primarily in CS, I saw this a lot, is that teams would be on paper way better than their opponent, but would for some reason, instead of playing their own game, they would play down to their opponents, like to their opponent's style, and the game would become a lot more difficult than it should be. I think that's the angle I was looking for, and how maybe your time as a pro player, Jake, you kind of approach matches for situations like this where you know you should be better than. Did you find you and your team playing down to their opponents? Were you able to maintain playing your own style, or how did you have to balance between the two to make sure you get that dub?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the scary thing, because if you kind of make a disrespectful read of a team and you think, look, they're not even really a contender, we can kind of do whatever and we're still going to get the win. The moment you start thinking that way is a moment you're really caught in a trap of your own making, right? I think if you're playing smart and just trying to like keep that pressure on areas where you think your opponents have a weakness, I think that ends up being a strength. But you're right to say, like, especially given these drafts, like, if you get overconfident, and like we've seen this from Abraham's before, right? Forcing naked mid bosses. I mean, it tends to work out for them because the execution, especially with the Yamato, is just so good. Like, they just hit every parry and they take the mid boss. They just go for those team fights. However, Fearless Furies have a really scary draft when it comes to forcing objectives without proper preparation. So if Abraham's are, I think, you know, a little like, they love playing risky. That almost is the way that they play, is like big forced team fights early and trying to blow the game wide open. But I think if Fearless Furies can kind of hold their nerve and navigate deep into those team fights, you know, outlast something like the Yamato ultimate, you know, live through the Mo and Krill combo, you know, there's a real team fight to be had here, and there's a lot of playmaking potential to hit back on the other side. So for Abraham's, I don't know that they're going to stop forcing those early mid bosses. I feel like that's what they do, and they're usually right about it. I can't criticize the results, but it is scary given these drafts.
Did you know that night shift production is quite literally in your head? Or at the very least, that's what Llama is Live feels. Going to chat testimonials as we wait for the servers to be ready. Quote, one time I got high and watched Night Shift, and I thought the whole stream was interactive, because whenever I thought about wanting to check someone's POV, they would switch to it. LOL. No. That had nothing to do with whatever you're doing afterwards. You were just one of our small test subjects where we were beaming directly into your brain, and we were able to just adapt to your preferences. But yeah, that's the type of stuff going on behind the scenes. It's in the fine print, believe me, but the game is about to be underway. Jason, Jake, please take it away.
We are missing one. I think I've seen this in my ranking games when one player just doesn't connect and the game goes to remake. I wonder if this may be the Steam issues. Abraham's 5v6. I wouldn't bet on them in a 5v6. I will say, I think this match is a little too close for that.
And I have to say, Llama is Live, we did find your mental search history, and you got to clean that shit up, man. That's not good. What we found was not great.
It was literally 7 out of 10 on the Jason scale, with 10 being full Jason, and you don't want to go there. Like, this is never your Jason. Yeah.
Viper Pregnancy Enjoyer doesn't even come close to what we found going on in your head. But yeah, so it looks like we will have to go for a remake here while things are being sorted on the Steam servers end. I feel like maybe the devs are watching us, and just every time that something like this happens to see us go live, they're just like, how can we mess with them? And every time they push a patch, they're just like, that's what Yoshi's doing in his office.
Actually, the part that's going to blow people's minds is people keep memeing it, but what if the new Buff Endurers player was actually Metro? Like, everyone's just going like, Metro, when's he gonna play? But it's all gonna be fun and games until Buff Endurers shows up.
Give him the
Zoom in on me, production.
Give him the one.
Give me the solo camera shot here. I mean, like, Steve Jobs this up real quick.
You're
when we
so
get this zooming going.
You're so Steve Jobs.
Oh boy.
I'm waiting for you, production. I know you got it, Solomon. He's working on it.
You've caught production unawares.
I got my blue button ready to go. Who of you out there, who in their right mind would think that Metro was the new 6 on Buff Enjoyers? Are you kidding me? I just like hitting this button, to be honest. I don't know what else to go with. I'm a little bit scared to keep going on this, to be honest. But come on.
That they want the Metro builds. Like, they're going to fire Lightbringer, and every single member of Buff Enjoyers will be using a Metro-approved item build for this new iteration of the Buff Enjoyers.
If you want a Metro build, just go look up the Line Pro builds. They're about the same, okay?
You didn't have to do them that hard.
Shots fired.
Like,
Shots fired. That was a little harsh. That was a little harsh. I'm sorry.
There's tiering to this. Line Pro builds, God bless his soul. Like, Line Pro, great guy. but he was putting like rapid recharge on heroes that didn't have abilities with charges on them at the very end. Like, and it was some of the most popular builds on the ladder.
That goes so hard. Just stylish rapid recharge for no value. Just flexing on them, buying some items that don't do anything. I'm just getting the purple investment, guys. Getting the spirit investment.
I mean, now, I don't even think
that
you
was
could
before
buy
that was there, wasn't it? I think. Sergeant Miles coming in with the $20. Big shout out to you. I love the skill XLR, by the way. I love the fact that I can hit this button and just sound so stupid.
The more ridiculous part is how you've loaded up that thing with like all these different voice clips, some of which would absolutely like get you thrown off the air, and you're like, that's fine. I just enjoy having like the nuclear career destruction button on my desk.
If we get $50 in donation before we head into game or break, I have a special new button that I can hit that you already know what it is, that I've clipped out from one of our prior shows that I probably should not be hitting, but I am a big seller for money.
No. Also, people mentioning Deadlock 2 as a patch. Well, you have to realize it was 5v5, so if you do want to like speed run future things, you know, Deadlock 2 now on night shift, we're just, you know, really accelerating through. Hitbox changes coming a month from now.
Metro's in chat and he's just question mark.
Oh my god. Shots fired, shots hit.
Oh, you know why the shots are fired? Because he really is on buff enjoyers. Making fun of my builds on it.
All right, we're in, baby.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna focus on game. I'm not gonna talk about what I was gonna say.
Let's start the game. All right.
Okay, I need to stop reading chat here, Jake. ABL, wait, no, ABL on Viscous.
Got some heat.
And Dimov on Gunman, or Doorman, and together on Yamato?
Together is sick on the Yamato. I will say.
ABL sick though?
That's true. I do think this actually kind of fits, because what else is Together playing in this draft? Right? Together is the signature frontline player. And I think ABL tends to have a wider range. Oh, great parry onto the Doorman here off the rip. Dimov getting a little bit too greedy, and Fearless Fury showing, hey, put some respect on the name. We got a match to play here.
Interesting. I mean, also interesting that Abrahams did invest their first pick for Sonya Sniper right off the bat. I mean, he's going to be the M1 carry for the team. We looked at OCs before and typically wouldn't get like a first pick on Goo Balls. We saw him the last few weeks here. But yeah, this is going to be really, I mean, Tass and Dimov together, their hero pools can kind of overlap pretty well too. It's going to be such a deadly thing to see what could happen in this middle lane. But I'm also curious to see what's ABL going to be doing on Mr. Goo Man himself, because there has been a Goober build that's been circulating. I'm not sure if you've seen this, Jake, though. I hope you have, because I know you're a big Viscous player. That involves like Majestic Leap, Express Shot, Lucky Shot.
Yeah. This is the build, man. Wait, Lucky Shot? Oh, the split shot thing where you like right click from point blank and it deletes people?
No, he wasn't doing that, but like Lucky Shot can proc off of the alt fire from Viscous, and he was showing Disco Virtuoso, one of the OC top players, about it today, and he went like 32 and like 2 in some of his matches against some pretty high ranked players.
It's like the P90 Viscous is back. I miss good old P90 Viscous, and like the old, when they had like the way the old shields work and the Veil Walker, you just delete people, walk around invis and show up and just like kill the whole back line and use the ball to run away. It's such a fun build, but
and he was running Glass Cannon with it as well.
Glass Cannon. Okay, yeah, that's P90 Viscous full out.
I'm hoping to see some of that today when we get Sneaky Golem later on in North America, because I mean, you were just deleting people. It was ridiculous. But we do have initial kills coming through, and we're still playing along with ABL again. I mean, I guess technically with him and Dimov and together, there's a really good overlap of heroes they can kind of all three play that allows ABL to flex over to things like Viscous. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we're seeing him play Viscous in Night Shift history.
Yeah. I mean, he's always been a player that's been able to pick up anything, so I'm not worried about him. Together, also off to a hot start in this lane, right? 2.6k on the Yamato. It's getting kind of close to that ultimate. Mid lane as well, being just brutally shoved. Dimov, a nice bell, gets the kill around the corner. And I mean, this is what makes Paradox so devastating, guys. This is like, if you want the hot tip on how to crush your games at like a lower elo, just clear the waves hardcore with the Paradox time bomb. It's one of the best wave clearing skills in the game at the early levels. And if you just constantly shove waves under tower, the game is so difficult for your opponent. Oh, almost a very good parry attempt there from Saint. Like, that was milliseconds away from parrying the Billy.
Yeah, at least I think this lane's doing decently well so far for Fearless Furies, and they're going to kind of need to because the mid lane is being shoved quite heavily against them. It's going to be down about half HP here momentarily, but the Sinclair Kelvin lane, I don't know how I feel about Sinclair Kelvin together. I was thinking maybe Kelvin would be paired with someone like Billy, like captain, so you have like the sustainability for Billy like you normally see Paige do, and then Sinclair would be in the mid lane with Bebop for some poke. But they're playing the lanes a little bit different than what I initially would expect.
Yeah, I would have thought it'd be like Kelvin, Billy, and they have a different vision on how to approach it. ABL finds a kill into Surgery. Together also deep behind the tower, and this is proving to be the real weakness of a lane here for the Fearless Furies. Together getting even more damage off. I mean, they're not even backing to buy. Like, the tempo is just so aggressive here. They are in pretty low HP, though, and, you know, one Vexing Bolt could end up being kind of a problem. Well, Doorman wants to be still bad.
Here, too.
Trades are good for now.
A lot more than I thought they would.
So many parries deployed, but there's 1 HP. It's just enough. Do they have the kill? And the nice combo for the finish. Nice cleanup here. 2 for 1. Thanks for all the primers, guys, and the subs. D-Mob, nice kill on the Bebop. See you, bud. Just a little Bebop space program there.
Good point about the Prime sub, by the way. Since it's a new month, a lot of people need to go check if they have Prime available. They can hit us with the sub. We've got some sub goals coming into mind in the next few weeks / months. They're going to want to help us achieve. I can promise you that, though. I can't tell you what it's going to be. As a phenomenal baggage card coming through on a flying Ivy.
He just carted him out of the air. What a catch from D-Mob. That's my buff, bud. You're in the wrong neighborhood. The chain quick melee's here. Oh, and late parry. Is that going to be enough to get him away? Doesn't even try to turn around for any counter damage. It's a little bit of laser connection, but it's not enough. And Taz may have just slipped his way out of this one. That is devastating for the Bebop. Just overdid it on the quick melees. Went for a little too many in a row.
At least they have alleviated the pressure that was originally on them in the mid lane. I think a lot of that is going to be going to Fargareko in particular. Like the Kutsu Bomb. We're talking about the time bombs. Kutsu Bomb as well doing a really good work to make sure you can keep these waves off of your Guardian. And with Tass already low on HP, he's got to be extra careful here to defend against this. As D-Mob goes for the chase, and Ayano doesn't even need Tass to help assist him, and he gets the kill. Uh-oh. Jake. Jake OW just
what a great guy.
That's not you, is
what
it?
a great guy.
Yeah.
Could have just
favorite sub right here.
Just an awesome person, great supporter, friend of the channel, you might even say.
One of the OG supporters.
Has some bullet shielding. Great catch here. Doorman doesn't have a great way to play his way out of this one unless he can get that door back around the tower, and he just barely does. I completely lied. Me when I spread misinformation on the internet. He does have a great way to get out of this one.
Also, kill happened on the left-hand side. They had to push past their wave to do so, with Captain able to get it. And again, for a guy coming into the team here, when they really needed him, replacing Amplify, and he's doing a great job so far. So Freemak will be on the Vindicta. We didn't touch on that just yet. So going to be right on that, and already at 5.1k souls, though I think he's still going to be going towards like a supporty build, though I'd almost like to see him go towards damage.
Prime sub starting to flow in now. Fresh month, great call, Jason. And this Vexing Bolt, it's just not been connecting for Coppin. He's missed like the last 3 of them. That's painful in lane. This should be a really powerful skill. Now Bebop and Mo tangling here in the side lanes. Vindicta looking to get those catches, trying to get a chain connection. Can he get it? Around the wall is enough, but you're not really pulling Infernus meaningfully here. So that Billy ult kind of goes by without any value. There's an opportunity here for a counter punch. If Abrahams can get that combo, Vindicta out of the air. Ooh, she's playing high ground.
Oh, what?
She's coming up with the combo. He's climbing.
I don't think I've ever seen someone actually sit up on top of that crane before.
That's kind of sick moves, actually. He was dead to rights if he drops down and gets comboed right there. Could be an attempt for more here.
Who's that on top of the construction site now? As it looks like the D-Mob space program survives yet again here. Sinayano back towards base. Oriano, that's 2 deaths for him already, 5.4 thousand souls. But this mid lane, even though they haven't really done that much damage to the Guardians, they're applying the pressure when it counts. And that's going to be a kill into Fargareko as well. And that should be the Guardian falling too.
Yeah, I mean, the lanes are starting to get a little bit out of control now. With mid open, that's going to free up players like Taz and D-Mob to get active, to roam, to kind of clean up some of these other walkers. And these lanes, they don't even necessarily need the help. right? You know, over here, it's already Mo and Infernus should be clearing that Guardian themselves. Bebop coming in, trying to punish ABL, who's also showed up in this wave, and just an absolute stomping from the goo ball. And now, I mean, Bebop's in trouble. Like, to get around these corners, he's got so many angles to turn, and every one of those is a waiting viscous punch. He's getting a bit of counter damage in, pushing players into the walker, but in the end, Sonya is going to get that cleanup and continue to snowball for Infernus. And the game now in a very dangerous territory. Fearless Furies on the cusp of being blown out on all 3 lanes. 9
to 10k difference 9 minutes in is not easy to come back from. However, taking that Guardian in the mid lane out of Captain is going to be one way to get back into this. I'm definitely going to be looking over towards the buffs, and more importantly, the urn that's going to spawn in. Because I believe if it continues this rate, Fearless Furies are going to have a turn on their side of the map, which would be a very easy way to get a quick 3k souls. And Captain's just going to go down to the shaft transformation, power slash there. I think this is like do or die time now for Furies. Like, I feel like you almost need this urn to get yourself back into it. If Abrahams get it and they push it to your side of the map and force a fight and win it, I mean...
This might legit be a comeback urn. Is it? Wait, it can't be a comeback in on the very first one, right?
I thought it could. I thought we've had it happen before. I thought they changed that, but it's like 15%.
Oh, I'm not sure. Then I think it is a comeback urn if it's possible. But honestly, I mean, getting the urn pickup is not going to be easy. I think Abrahams are going to be aware of that, and I expect it to be pretty contested when it does drop down here. Billy out a little bit on the lanes, and this is the threat of a Mo and Krill with the lead, right? He is just absolutely unafraid. He knows the damage is completely there behind him. No question about that. And now they're shoving this wave in, and this should be just a free earn here for Abrahams, at least to get the pickup.
Well, we'll find out real soon if it can't be comeback.
Nice snipe.
12k difference. Yep,
Point
there we go.
Snipe, but isn't enough. The burn coming from Infernus, and the continuation. Here's Paradox, and I mean, Abraham's players are so free to roam, and now they're just showing up to these team fights. It is going to be a disfavored urn. Okay, if Abrahams get this urn turn in, I think it's like honestly GG. Like, is that crazy, Jason?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I don't think it's crazy at all.
If you're doing a like 11-minute aggressive urn turn in, like near the enemy walkers, and they can't stop you, you're in such big trouble.
And they're setting him up. Put the door down. You can see Saint going to be sticking back, and they're going to be going for it here.
Hook, though. I mean, Bebop with a hook could make this scary. You got to be careful. There's also another player coming in as well. They're trying to get this desperately. Trying to get that urn finished. The urn is... Wait, it's still on the ground here. The team fight takes place. Abraham's just troubling down, bringing players. They did a parry on that Kelvin. Another parry on the Bebop. It's beautiful. And in the chaos, the urn does go in here for Abrahams. They're also able to find kills. Abrahams, they bite up more than they can chew. Billy's coming in with the ult. Here's that attempt here for the comeback team fight. You need to find something here. You need to find these counter kills, but the combo onto Billy is going to buy time for everyone else to retreat.
Bro, Surgery, they need your help here. Is he chasing together? He's on the left-hand side of the map in the enemy jungle himself. In the meantime, a push on towards this walker. Svar Greco honestly making a smart play on this one, realizing that there's no one here to defend it, though it might cost him his life. At least gets the walker down about 25% HP, and he will in fact fall to Demov. Not a horrible trade, but again, you lost like 2 or 3 players. You lost the urn.
I mean, damage on a walker is one thing, but when you can't get the kill and you die for it, it's like now Abrahams can just kind of put a lot of emphasis on keeping the right lane pushed out. I mean, they might as well, because they're probably thinking about sieging a walker pretty soon here. And I mean, you still have a Guardian up in the other lane, so it's like it's not easy to just prio and push right lane. But it looks like they're doing that. Maybe they're going to try and catch this Infernus in the side lane. Calvin coming in there, and Billy. Infernus in a bit of trouble, getting a lot of slows. Maybe he doesn't have a flame dash. Kind of caught in a compromised position. Do they have the follow-up here? Do they have the catch? They need this Infernus kill. They are going to find it. Taz is also super low, so this may be Abrahams biting off a little more than they can chew here. More players coming into this engagement. Taz dodging for now. That stun off the pad is one thing, but it looks like Taz got a shield proc just before that stun. I guess it's the stun from the reactive barrier, so he gets the proc and a parry onto Billy. Oh no, Saint, don't do it like this.
What is that? Is that Demov who came to join the party as well? In the meantime, all this has been all happening together. He's pushed down this left lane walker, and he's so deep in enemy territory. Someone call Owen Wilson. It looks like he's actually gonna escape from this.
They like let him, or maybe he juked them? Like, how did he live here? He's gonna do a little bit of a wave cut here. Proxy the wave, clean up behind. They're just gonna dive in and just force this Guardian, but you need to get off without a huge team-wide punish here. A lot of Abraham's players are pretty low here. Tried to bait the parry out of Taz, but Taz didn't bite there. If we get one more bomb connection, a little bit more damage, that could be a kill onto the Paradox. There it comes in, and a second onto ABL. So Fearless Fury is getting a bit of a comeback team fight. It's not for free though. Here's Together, gets a parry, tries a deny, continuing on this engagement. Shadow Transform Pop, hunting down this BO, tries to backdash for a juke. Slipping away from a lot of these abilities. All right, fancy footwork from Ayano, and that might have gotten him out of dodge.
That was a sick juke actually, to go backwards like that.
Okay, he's being hunted though, surely. Movement check, movement check.
Where did he go? Oh, he's behind.
Oh my, no, the juke. Come on, Biba. Get out of there, bud. Get out of there. Oh, no.
Oh.
The last shot to finish him off. That is a tragedy for Surgery, or rather, for Fearless Furies all together. They're getting kills elsewhere. They made so much time with that play. There could be a fight to be had.
I almost want to see a repeat or like a replay of that last chase down coming through. But yeah, while this has been happening, there's been kills pretty much across the map on this right hand side. We saw Abrahams go for the push, trying to look for some damage on this walker, but without waves of minions here, they cannot afford to go for it. Instead, ABL is just trying to escape. These are the puddle punches to get that extra momentum. And Together's still more than happy on this left hand side to still play aggressively. And they have almost a 20,000 lead 15 minutes in here, Jake. You talk about some like dry mid bosses.
Yeah, this
Could
is,
they potentially go for one here?
this is a moment to think about. I mean, I will say with Kelvin Dome, it's kind of insanely risky to even attempt. They're going for the Devils. I mean, there's a door here. Torman, just watching. I just like to watch when they do the sinners. Combo? Somewhere. Oh, and the copying combo. Giving him as good as he's getting, but he's too low HP to make that work. Sinclair goes down. The swap for a second, and that could be the precursor to a mid boss. Together's not here to secure it. Oh, Kelvin Dome was forced by Surgery, and he's burning down. I mean, this doesn't look good, man. Maybe the pads, he can play his way out of this one.
Wait, is that a gun, Kelvin? I just saw QSR and I saw Cultist.
Makes sense.
Okay, so his domes are not gonna be that effective.
It is Surgery, right?
That's
now they're
true.
getting off the mid boss. They're trying to chase down Ivy, who's looking for a bit of harassment. Came in too deep there, too close to the waiting arms of Abraham, who are ready to turn and punish those plays. Yamato's here for the secure. Is she gonna go for the ultimate just to guarantee, or are they're gonna greed it out? I think they might be right here. No punish to be had. 3 clean rejuves.
Well, the punish.
15k soul lead. This is getting scary. I guess
It will be that right
scary.
lane walker at least. Yeah, it's just getting scary. Yeah, it's been scary for a while. I mean, it's only 10k, but the 3 Ryuju's picked up now for Abrahams. With how skirmishy these fights have been, I don't really see a way for Fearless Furies to get out of this one. I mean, as well as like Surgery going for the gun build. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but it also kind of doesn't, because you have an Ivy, so you don't really want to split the farm between you and Fargar Echo when the Ivy needs to get fed up quite a bit to be effective.
I would say there is enough farm on the map, and okay, that's the Siphon Bolts picked up. So that is actually a key power spike here for Kelvin, for Bullet Kelvin. He's going for the committed fighting build. I mean, you could go for a greedier choice here, but I think he just recognizes he needs the fighting potential just to stay alive long enough in these engagements. I mean, it is a little scary, right? You might not even get your dome off the way the fights potentially can go. ABL has that Majestic Leap online. A lot of bullet damage coming in from Viscous. These rooftops, they feel safe, but we'll see how safe they actually are. I mean, right now, Fearless Furies, all they can really do is just defend the mid walker, and it's not the spot you want to be in a game of Deadlock. Right now, Ivy being hunted down on the opposition side of the map. She's trying to fly away, trying to slip out of this one, but she doesn't have her ultimate anymore. I guess already used it. ABL's going to go for the chase down. Thinks he can call the bluff. Can they get the bullet out of the punch? Not quite enough. Okay, Ivy gets out the TP. They're going to keep hunting this. Together's
there.
Yeah, potentially threatening. And now Ivy is just going to go put what damage on the walker she can, getting a little bit of extra value out of being here. Oh my god, that plays are crazy. I think he got Tesla bulleted off the zip right there while Ivy was shooting the walker.
That was planned. That was like a 400
Absolutely
IQ shot.
part
You
of the
knew
play.
the Tesla would bounce.
I knew I'd proc the Tesla.
Well, we do finally see a push coming through. Don't know if Fearless Fury is expected to be in all 3 lanes at once. Able to be rejoining the mid lane here to look for this walker. Well, we do see Dimov pushing on the right-hand side, though he has to contend with a Vindicta by Freemok, and of course Surgery going to be there. And Sonya going to be quickly joining in to help out as well. The door placement's perfect, but not too perfect for Dimov. He gets hooked right in under the walker and stunned up.
Sick pull right there, and that may be enough to take down the first crystal. Surely they can get the catch in the door, man. Oh, to lose that would be a tragedy, but a tragedy so it is. This time it's Saint's turn to get pulled under the walker. He doesn't care. He's just going toe-to-toe. He's tangoing with that walker, and now as it drops, this is no longer a safe zone for you, Fearless Furies. You got to get back inside the base. You got to try and slip away from this one, but it seems like Abraham's going to let it happen. Going to just bring the bulk of their players over to clean up this final walker out of the map.
23k lead in the last walker in the sights. I mean, you see them immediately back into base. They realize there's no way we can defend that walker. Hell, they could barely defend their base guardians at this rate, though with the rejuve down with a minute of time. You know, they used to have ABL low. Tass is half HP, so is Sonya. So we will finally see the pedal, or the foot taken off the pedal. And the gas relieved here for Abraham's, looking to back away, though I don't think Together got the memo.
He's so deep. I don't think you can do this. Yeah, I mean, putting a little bit of counter damage back down. Still has that shadow form, so can't be disabled just yet, but Crystals, they want to deploy him. They want to get that fight up. Here's the hook deep onto Yamato. That's going to be first crystal down, second as well onto Mo, but they do get the kill onto Surgery, which is very high value at this point. ABL rolling around, trying to just get out of this one, stay alive, keep the lane pushing. As Cube and Bebop's very far out of base. This is a rejuve crystal. I don't think this is the kill you want, and goes for the risky melee. Actually gets it off. Bebop just didn't see that one coming. The Ayano's on 1 HP out of the base. Surely dead to rights here. And that's enough here to potentially drop Shines. So Together forcing the play, but getting value off the crystals, getting the chance to siege the base. This is everything you want from Abraham's.
I mean, the crystals had about, like, what, 20 seconds left when ABL did die. So, yeah, very smart play to use it to get to full HP back, to continue the push as they take the phase 1 patron down. I don't think they're going to commit for the fight this time, though, with buffs up, with Earn available, and with a massive, well, approaching 30 to 40k lead. Fearless Furies are going to go for the attack here on the retreat, realizing they have to make some sort of stand here. And right now, and Fargareco, he's extremely deep here in this fight. He's got the entirety of Abraham's looking to chase him down, but at least gets D-Mob for his trouble so far. Just needs to pull off the escape here. And even a stolen combo coming out of Coffin, but it's not really going to allow them to lock someone down long enough to get the kill.
Burns coming in from Infern is just burning players one after another, keeping that effect up procced on so many players at the same time. And the net worth advantage being felt here. It's a decent start to the fight, but in the end, I think Fearless Furies are running out of gas now. Surgery, no more Dome, cooking down. Team Focus Fire is good. And without the Kelvin, there's no one really left to make this defense. Fremont could maybe throw some snipes in, but just does what he can to clear the way. But there's still creeps here. They're coming into the base, and this could be the end of the game.
Yeah, it should be. Fremont, he might be good, but you're not 1v5 good here. And it will be Abraham's, and I want to say quite an easy fashion, taking the first game, thinking back to the initial earn with a 12k lead. They get the turn and they get kills off the back of that. They didn't stop from there, and they get themselves now one game away from winning the Deadlock Night Shift number 14 here, Jake.
Yeah, it's looking like a solid one for them. I want to say I feel like Fearless Furies did a great job of extending out the game in some very difficult moments. You know, the laning phase, though, I think ultimately was just too dominant for Abraham's, right? They came out of the lanes, they won all three, they started roaming, they started cleaning up the map, and Fearless Furies gotten into some crazy, like, delayed team fight scenarios, especially against the rejuves, you know, splitting the map well. And they really did pull a lot of wasted time out of Abraham's. But in the end, I think especially in that very final fight of the game, I mean, that looks like a good catch for the Furies, right? They're catching the opponents, getting out of the base with low resources, without rejuve crystals. But Abraham's are just a team that is always willing to take the risk and take the fight because they just believe in their deathmatch, and for good reason, right? They always deliver in those crucial moments.
All right, Abraham's coming in as the favorite and proving to that being the case. All in all, I mean, this was a bit of a stump. There's really no way of sugarcoating it one way or another. It was pretty one-sided the whole way through. Now, I have to ask, though, let's dig a little bit deeper here, Jason. Was this purely mechanical, or was this a little bit based on the draft? You know, if you had to apply some fault here, figure out where things went wrong, where do you throw the blame?
I think it was a mechanic difference. I think draft is obviously a major factor. I think it's more of a factor the higher level you go in play and the closer the teams are, because you can have the teams, you know, get those small advantages and turn into bigger advantages. But the fact that they were almost 10k behind before we were 10 minutes in, and basically every lane won, I think that comes down to mechanical, not necessarily the hero draft. Though I will say, we were talking about this before, Jake, that some of the lanes we were expecting to be a little bit different, like Kelvin and Billy together, instead of seeing Kelvin and, was that Sinclair together?
Yeah, I even more than the draft, I question kind of those lane decisions, right? It's like, for me, I can understand the Ivy in the mid lane because you really need that wave clear against Paradox to have a response to, right, these time bombing and constantly clearing waves. And so I think I don't mind that. I mean, ultimately, though, some of these outplays, like moments like this, you're just like, okay, what do you do about that? Like, that is so sick out of D-Mob. The punish comes in. The squad is there to play around them. And so the Abrahams, not only do they look individually so strong, but the coordination is also top-notch for the group. I just don't see the weakness. I don't see the vulnerability for this team, like the way you get the edge against them. You just have to play a very clean game of Deadlock.
One interesting thing to me in terms of hero pools expanding here is seeing D-Mov lean a little bit more into playing Doorman. Just the fact that I think when you look at how this game evolved, if there was any chance for Fearless Furies to come back, well, the ability to play around Urn, the ability to play around mid boss, things that do get you back in the game, it's so much difficult to do so when you have a Doorman getting played at a high level on the team that's already winning, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I love this play out of the Doorman here for D-Mov, right? And this is actually, it's interesting. I don't think I've seen that much of the D-Mov Doorman, but this kind of makes sense for him as a player. Right? He loves these high mobility, high skill shot, early game tempo spirit heroes, like kind of similar to a Viscus, but right, with a lot more team playmaking potential, right? You're carding into for your allies for the catch. This melee, I mean, I love that actually from ABL. Like, he's got the Reju Crystal and he's dead to rights. You might as well go for it there. If Bebop was ready for that and parries the melee, maybe that's a quicker kill and a more decisive one. But in the end, we're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, talking about that phase of the game. You get blitzed out in 3 lanes at once. You're facing out a very difficult game of Deadlock. And I think from there, Fearless Furies actually played pretty well. It was just too difficult of a match to come back in.
I concur.
I'm just saying, it's like, Jason, what are your deep thoughts here? The deep thoughts are just, I concur. Now, of course, it's map 1, so there's no MVP, and there's a way to bounce back. So let's focus on improvement here. And I guess we've already identified part 1 is mechanics, but looking forward to the draft, before we go to a break here, Jason, what do you want to see changed for Fearless Furies going forward?
I don't even know, man. Like, the fact is that Abraham's got Infernus and Yamato off the bat. We thought it was going to be an ABL Yamato. It ended up being a Together Yamato, and they put ABL on Viscus. So, like, one of the heroes that we saw be banned away from ABL quite consistently last week, it got through, but it wasn't even played by him. And then you obviously have like a couple of different factors in there, like a Shiv, which we did see taken away, I believe, by them as well out of Abraham's to make sure the other team doesn't get it after seeing them play it free mock in the prior game. I don't know if there's a way at the moment that you can ban out Abrahams or like outpick them either necessarily, because they do have a fairly deep pool across the board. I think the only thing I can maybe think of is that you kind of have to get together an together. I don't know. It's like together DMOV and ABL. You need to get them on some less than comfortable heroes, but I don't know if you can do that with like the limited window you have to do your picks and bans.
Yeah, I'd say just give me one lane out of Fearless Furies that's like a monster lane that is just like give me one of these like elite tier lanes that gives you a huge edge. If you could just win one lane solidly, even if you lose the other 2 lanes, I feel like there's a much easier road back into the game when you have like a couple players on a very hot early game. I think if Fearless Furies get to that later phase of the game where they're team fighting, they're relying on their coordination, they look like a good team that can actually go toe-to-toe with Abrams. The problem is they got to that point in a way too much of a deficit. So just give me one monster lane and make a decisive winning lane, even if you go 1-2 in the laning score there. And I think there's going to be a much closer game to it. If there's a game 3 in the cards, I think that's how it's going to be done for Fearless Furies. If they lose all 3 lanes again, it's just going to be a quick 2-0.
All right. Keep it simple. Win a few lanes. Can Fearless Furies do it? They got one more map left at a minimum here on Night Shift EU. When we come back, we'll see who's going to take the money match and then some. Well, they say the stats say everything here on the Night Shift. And if it was singing a song to you, Jake, what's that song saying based on the stats page?
This is not a song, man. This is a dirge, a funeral dirge. For Fearless Furies, 39-12. I mean, the top line score does kind of tell the story. Just way too good up the lanes. Like, everybody snowballed. Everybody had a good game. Sonya, most deaths because, it's Infernus. So, yeah, if you want to hard focus fire the Infernus, you can get that kill. But there's just too much damage coming out of every source in this particular game. Together goes with like a hybrid gun spirit Yamato. It's kind of an interesting build, actually. I think we've seen more and more people lean gun wise, but together it's still working in a bit of spirit with that torment pulse and the heal bane to keep it applied on everyone. So interesting builds out of the squad. ABL with kind of the classic Goober Viscous build with the majestic leap and just a lot of crazy nuking. I think this is a very high tempo style that, especially if you snowball a game, hard to beat, just like continuing to put the pressure on.
Jason, just to remind people looking at this, wondering, are the stats bugged? Is something wrong? Kelvin did lose. Like, this is a game where Kelvin was drafted and Kelvin did not win.
True.
Can we production? Can we double check that? Are we for sure that Kelvin did lose here? I'm hearing from production. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like Kelvin, very strong hero when he gets banned out quite consistently, and you do see him picked when he's not banned. But it still takes more than just Kelvin alone to be able to win games, right? And obviously, I don't know. I still want to bring it back to mechanics here in this one. Like, a Kelvin's not going to save you from being down 10k 10 minutes in. It's not going to save you from these comeback earns as the initial earn. It still takes a team to play around it.
Jason, so you're telling me because Kelvin can't save that Kelvin needs to be buffed? That's what I'm hearing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Because we found a scenario where he can lose, therefore he needs buffs. But okay, Jake, not going too down the Kelvin rabbit hole. Like, Kelvin is strong, but is kind of showing here on some level. Yes, you could argue it's from mechanical skill differences or just evolving meta, but it's not quite the R of invincibility that Kelvin had even going back a few weeks ago.
And that may be true. I do think Doorman, it's not a counter to Kelvin, but it does kind of mitigate or at least balance one of Kelvin's biggest strengths, which is to say like doming urns and just getting free urn drops, right? You can, as long as you have that door pre-placed on the urn, you can still threaten the drop off. You can still, get it done yourself, even if Kelvin is threatening to dome or posturing up for it. So I would say if we ran that draft back one more time, if I was the Fearless Furies, I would kind of rather have a support Kelvin, because that's one of the ways to have, I think, a more secured lane that just much more likely to do well. Whereas when you're playing for the carry Kelvin, the payoff is bigger, but it's just a bigger risk, right? You're not as strong in the lane. You're not as much early investment into just tempoing out with Spirit. And Abrahams are going to first ban Infernus.
They want Shiv.
Yeah. I mean,
they didn't have first pick
or they
last
could
time.
get a holiday, I mean, I think they just aren't going to first pick Infernus, and it's going to go against them. I think you're right. Shiv could go. I think Holiday could go. I mean, together Shiv is a monster. I think he's
you got to ban Kelvin
in the game.
In this case. Like, I don't think you want to give up Saint Kelvin is the main thing. Like, you think about the Abraham stuff in the past. Yeah, Fearless Furies would probably grab Shiv on the rebound, but giving that up, that would be all sorts of rough. But okay, Abrahams, we'll see what their number one pick here is going to be. Could be the Holiday, could be Paradox, could be the Shiv. I mean, frankly, I think the fact that Fremont loves playing Shiv and the fact that together, and Shiv are still, 1-1 together. Yeah, okay. This makes perfect sense to me, Jason.
Talk about a hero that like comes off a hot start and just crushes the game. This is Abraham saying, hey, look, we ran through you in the lanes last time. We're going to pick the hero that arguably has like the most aggressive scaling curve in the game. Once you get that maxed ult, you start showing up to team fights. And if you're already leading, if you're already dominating, Shiv just completely crushes Furies. Snag the Yamato right back. I guess they don't want to be dealing with both Yamato and Shiv. I mean, that's just too much pain coming in from the opposition. So I like that they grab it. I wonder what they're going to go next. This is a really important pick. I don't know that they play the Holiday. Like the way they've been drafting it, it feels like they don't really want the Holiday. And I'm a little worried because I don't think you should give it up. And they are going to go for it, which actually I'm glad that they do pilot the Holiday well enough, because I wouldn't have wanted to see going up against Abrahams with this new Holiday meta build.
I will say though, Jason, as I look at it, while getting Yamato, I mean, Yamato is pretty good. I almost feel like the very early pick of Yamato here from Fearless Furies was more of a deny pick to make sure that you don't give it up for ABL. Because if I'm looking at it from a tactical meta point of view, I actually like the Holiday into Paradox response more, where you force the other team to either pick Bebop or you ban it. I think that opening is really strong, but when you're worried about ABL taking over a game on Yamato, it does change the equation a bit.
I mean, is it going to be ABL taking over the game on Yamato, or is it going to be together taking the game over on Shiv? I think that's the situation you leave yourself in, of what's the lesser evil of the two. With them picking Shiv, you got to take away the Yamato here. I was actually maybe expecting them to go like towards Ivy Paradox initially to take away Ivy from Sonya, because banning out Infernus as a first ban for Abrahams leaves open basically only Ivy for Sonya to play. But he's been able to secure that, and that puts Fearless Furies in a weird position of what M1 hero do you want to be running? And I hate to say
think it's Holiday.
Like Wraith the option? Is it going to be Holiday?
I think you probably just put him on Holiday, because I think
makes sense.
Your ability to pilot the hero, like, whereas on something like Ivy or Infernus, I'm like less worried about whether the carry players play it, given how recent this new meta shift is for Holiday and how unique Holiday is as a character. I'm kind of interested to see how it goes. Like, I think they were reluctant to draft this hero earlier so far on the 2 maps they played today. And I think they're doing it now because maybe they feel a little bit forced to. And so this will be a real test for them. Like, can they pilot it? Can they make it look effective? For Abrahams, I think the Ivy is going to be always comfortable, right? Like, when it comes to the macro presence, this hero is just hard to beat. Just shoves lanes, forces responses, pulls players towards the Ivy's position on the map, and then Ivy, tends to get away out of those dangerous spots.
I'm going to call it. I think they go Abrams out of the pick here, because I think Abrahams, they could go with extra frontline. They very well could take the Abrams away, which would be both pick for them and deny pick against Captain. I think for Fearless Furies, they could use a little bit more frontline. Okay, yeah, they go with the Abrams. So they get that set in stone, and I think it's as much of a good pick for them as it was preventing the deny pick coming out from Abrahams, Jason.
I mean, also Captain had a really good game 1 on it, got our player of the match too on top of that. Yeah, taking away some of the front line of Abrahams, but Viscus is still left open, and Aviel hasn't had a hero to play just yet, and it will get locked in here. I'm also curious, is Aviel going to ever break out the pocket again? Because it's been a long time since we've seen him playing pocket.
I actually would hope he plays pocket this game. I think this is a really good. I think you want to take it to both block pick the pocket counter to Shiv, and I think it's actually really good this game. I think like you've got a lot of initiation and frontline catch. Pocket is a great way to start fights that then Shiv and Ivy and Viscus can kind of come in and clean up all that affliction damage. They aren't going to take it in these 2 though, valuing the Viscus and the Bebop earlier. I think Fearless Fury is like, do they want the pocket for themselves? I just feel like it would be so sick for ABL here.
They could.
I don't think Abraham's is going to play pocket though. I think D-Mob's going to be on Bebop, and then ABL's going to be on Viscus again, leaving tasks on Paradox. I don't think they can flex the pocket in anymore.
Okay, love the page here. We have 2 things I wanted to see last game. We talked about like the strength of lanes for Fearless Furies. They've got Abraham's Vindicta if they want to go for it. That's like a classic, really dominant early game lane that's very hard to respond to. Like Tether into Charge is usually just guaranteed kills in the early game, and they have a great frontliner and a great long range poker in that lane. Page as well is like a very sick lane securing hero. I wonder if it'll be like a Page Yamato. So they have 2 lanes for me that look really sick, and then it looks like maybe Holiday GT in the mid lane. So actually all 3 lanes look very good to me. I think Abrahams is going to have a tougher laning phase on their hands here.
The one thing that's really interesting to me as I look at this is the absolute death of some of the heroes that you would historically want for scaling if other options are gone. Where right now people go, okay, if I don't get Infernus, Holiday, or Ivy, that's it. I'm going to focus on heroes that give me a different power spike. No one's considering things like a Wraith anymore. They're just saying, nope, hero is not good enough early, and late game is not good enough to really justify picking over other options. And I feel like that's been kind of firmly set in stone now for quite a bit, Jason.
I'm sorry I'm changing topics here, but just it came to my mind. How wild was it seeing Together play Haze last week against Gooballs? Of like all the heroes for him to play, I'm not saying he's gonna play here. It's for certainly gonna be the Shiv, but I was just thinking, because we didn't get to chat about that, how different of a hero that was for him, because he played it like the normal supporting kind of style with like slowing Hex. But I don't know. That was just like going through my head, and I was just curious what you guys thought. But either way, as we're about to end the game here, ZP, you always ask us, who do we think won the draft? Who do we think's gonna win the game? But why don't you tell us?
Draft-wise, I think overall still probably Abrahams, but I don't think it's as good as it is last time. For nothing else, they don't have the Doorman. I think my stealth pick of heroes that carry games right now, Doorman's pretty high up there just because of the ridiculousness that we've seen. So I think at a minimum, it is a better draft for Fearless Furies, but still one overall that I think Abrahams has the edge on.
Okay.
The chat Fred says 7% for Fearless Furies, and I'm betting the house on Fearless Furies. This is the chance for the come up of a generation here. I think they're still the heavy underdog. I think they're the heavy underdog, to be clear. But I think they've got a much better draft than last game. I think all 3 lanes look strong to me. I mean, Abraham's obviously, you got to think they're the favorite in this match. They should be putting up some strength here. But hey, this is a Page Yamato coming down on mid lane. Not going to be an easy matchup to take.
Hey, Jake, just before I fully let you two handle it, I put 2,000 channel points on Fearless Furies. Like, you've convinced me. The odds are too good, man. The odds are too good.
I'm letting everyone in on the secret. All right. I got to let it happen. I got to, you know, that's for the homies. Hopefully the Twitch chat pred is gone by the time everyone hears my analysis, so I can get that max profit. Or maybe it's a failed bet, and everyone's going to be mad at me for giving them bad channel point financial advice.
That's maybe you're just gaming the system here, and you're saying that so that people bet on Fearless Furies, and you're exactly.
I'm cooking the books. Look at this Yamato.
A little bit of stock manipulation here.
She just doing whatever she wants. I mean, Freebach has a nasty lane on his hands, and this is like one of the few ways to really put like a paradox in the back foot. It's just like run it down on her.
Bro, okay. Again, I thought Demob was going to be on Bebop. I still rate him as the best Bebop player in EU. But you have Tass on the team, and then Saint's the one to get it, and Demob's going to be playing the Haze here. So I feel like they definitely switched up what Demob is playing for the team compared to Buff Enjoyers.
Yeah, definitely. I think Paradox in like the supporting tempo style is one of the hardest characters to play right now in Pro Deadlock. And so I think it's maybe the most important. It goes to somebody who is really confident on the pilot. So for now, to me, this makes a lot of sense. We check in on some of the side lanes. A lot of action in the mid lane, but of course, got to see how Haze is getting her start. Haze, Ivy, I mean, this strikes me as a very defensive lane. And actually, the first kill comes in. Yamato just slightly biting off more than she could chew, going deep under tower, and just gets punished from the consistent pressure out of Abraham's.
Is this going to be a split shot page?
Oh, I hope not. Please God. Okay, Guardian Ward. We got Troll with the quick buy. The first item Guardian Ward is always you might buy the split shot, but I don't think you actually play that way in the game. GT waiting out. The cube here being used to delay. Got a lot of arrow charges. I don't know if you really want to take that smoke on Viscous. ABL going deep, getting to punish the parry. It's good. That's going to get Surgery back out to the Guardian. Give him a comfortable spot to play from and get some of that counter poke down in the lane.
Let me ask you as a Viscous player, with the state of rebuttal right now, is it an item worth buying for the laning phase for the 800 souls? That do you think is worth it, especially when you're up against a Viscous?
I don't think it's worth, like, really, because I think you still want to just parry the punches. It's insanely good, but I don't think the counter damage is that meaningful. The reason the punches are good is because they knock you up and set up for more damage, as this looks like a very early kill on the GT. Shiv on the chase down. Together, he's way too sharp on this character to miss that kill. Oh, parry.
First buff coming up.
All right,
Fargareco.
Calls ABL
No way.
bluff there. Oh, together. Could get fed another kill. And just deja vu here for the Shiv. No one's hitting the creeps in this lane. No one has hit the creeps for like a minute in this lane.
I had to check if I was having a stroke here, because I was like, sure, the exact same thing just happened, and Surgery will be able to close them out and get the kill. And again, a lot of minions being lost for Abraham's here. Yeah, you get the kills. 3.2 for Together, 2.4 for ABL, but ABL is going to kind of fall behind in this lane a bit because of that.
Twitch chat blew up my bet, man. The odds went to 30.
Oh my God.
Oh no. All right, we'll have to see if it's enough for them to get the win. Fearless Furies. Hey, they're up in souls right now, Jason. Well, now they're not. Now it's even. But you know what? Hey, it's still a much better early game than last time. Much more contested. And I do think this Yamato page, as they get more and more levels, more and more items, this page becomes really hard to respond to. I will say, getting swapped and hooked under tower is one of the few things that even the page shield is just not enough tankiness to really respond to.
I swear, I feel like when I'm playing against Paige, I'm playing like I don't know if you ever played this game. It might actually be older than you are, maybe. The Matrix game, or even I guess Max Payne would even count, where you have the bullet time, just dodging bullets. That's what it always feels like when I play against her, though I'm a big fat boy and I always seem to hit them all. But together, getting fed like this, and we might talk about Soul being relatively equal. Exactly, 4.4k for him. Mystic shot already online. If he continues like this, there's going to be no stopping Together. There's going to be no stopping Abraham's, and they're going to win themselves another 600 minimum.
Yeah, great page ult. Interrupts the bebop. Can they get the counter kill to Sonya? You'd love to find that. Love to stop the Ivy, but they can't get the punish kill. They have to go back because minions are crashing on this Guardian. Abrahams are super low HP around the map. So while Together is onto a monster snowball, there's still a lot of Deadlock to be played. Counter kills coming in the mid lane here. Surgery finding something with that GT bird as Holiday holds down the lane.
Okay, a little captivating read here. Still going to be tasked to defend, though he's low on HP. And looks like the backup going to come through as well here at a Fearless Furies to try to defend, though. Together is going to be fine on the left-hand side. Almost in a 1v2 with AVL not there just yet.
This guy's
And
so
Together,
good,
he just
man.
wants to fight.
I mean, I would too if I were him, man. Off to a really strong start. And actually, I mean, this is a very comfortable matchup for Shiv against GT. Like, that high burst damage is not what you want against the Shiv passive, right? He's going to be able to peel a lot of that off and kind of outlast GT. D-Mob finds a kill in the mid lane, and talk about a strong game so far. I mean, D-Mob, very comfortable soul spot. And this is, I think, the hardest moment of the game for the Haze is like the very, very early game to have a decent enough start to the game where you can actually continue to get active and continue to, you know, show up to team fights with that invis in the mid game and get those ganks you're hoping for. But, you know, off to a decent enough start in this game where I think he's absolutely gonna be able to realize that tempo.
Getting denied by a Page, that's gotta hurt more than losing a match like that. I think he lost
Holiday.
like 3 or 4.
This could be bad. If he gets in range to execute, it's a kill. Ooh, yeah, that's air. It's gonna get him close enough for the finish. What a player, man. Together, arguably one of the best ship players in the world. The counter kills coming in the mid lane. Ayano, Far Greco also died. Or rather, died to the ship there, as we just watched that. Ayano dying in the mid lane. Yamato should be up next here. No ultimate left, nothing, no gas in the tank, and D-Mob is here to get the cleanup.
What's so weird for me is that looking at Together as a player, what he's doing on Shiv is kind of what he did on Yamato really early on in his career, and then he seemed to have fallen off where others were able to keep playing her to a really high level. I wonder why that fall off happened, and maybe it was just him putting more time into Shiv and knowing the power and what it can provide. But I find it really hard to think of any other Shiv player in EU that matches up to what he can do on Shiv.
I mean, this is one of the best characters in the meta. It's been so for a long time. I mean, there's so much outplay potential with the dash for you know, team play, especially to get the most out of the execute is really powerful. Guardian Ward still available for Pagers, maybe baiting this a little bit. Saint does go down, and so Fearless Furies kind of want this fight in the mid lane. Paige very close to an ult of her own. Coffin finds Taz, and yeah, that's the mid Guardian going down here. So at least one lane of the map where there's a bit of advantage toward the Fearless Furies. Now, Paige coming over, wants to rotate and deal with this push. A lot of Walker damage being put down. This is a pre-10-minute Walker push. And oh no, Paige, you're in the absolute wrong neighborhood. Gets blasted away by Together, who's looking for more. That execute up in 5 seconds. Remember, somebody is going to be on the other side of the knife sooner rather than later. And it looks to be Vindicta. Tethering Shiv, wise decision to slow down his chase, but yeah, it's just good enough. And the barrier just doesn't make any difference when it comes to the execute. Coffin might have thought he could get out of this one. Oh no, Shiv's looking for more. He's max rage, he's gonna get the double dash. This is not an easy survival. Yeah, and there it goes. Fremont gets deleted, a hook for more.
Oh
this
no.
game is getting out of control now, Jason.
He's gonna give him another one. I mean, Together's got to be closing this one out. Looking for Captain. Captivated Reed has come in to buy him some time. The dash comes through once again. Not to mention the charge to heal up Captain. How many kills has Together got in the same spot, by the way, with that jump pad? And Captain, he's used movement to the best of his ability, but he's still going to fall either way to the help of the bomb. And Together now at 10,000 souls. No one even comes close in this game to him. He's 3K ahead of any other single player on the other team.
Yeah, and Sonya also is just quietly farming up a storm on the Ivy. She's clearing some of the enemy jungle camps. Here's a bird coming into some low players, but instead it's only Taz on the other side of that. Gonna go to tank through it. This game has been super active, so many fights around the map, but that's exactly the style that Shiv and especially, you know, Tempo Viscous, Tempo Haze, they absolutely want to play this way.
Is this Assassinate Max out of Coffin?
I mean,
he's only at 1 point.
He did get a couple points in the bird, so he's not like greeting out of the lanes, which I think is wise considering the team you're up against. Full greeting out of the lanes, wouldn't recommend it against the best team in Europe right now.
Possibly the best team in the world too. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Sneaky Golem. It's been a while since we've seen them play up against melee creeps, which still has the potential to be our final North America as well as Bunny with Clock playing up against Sticky Goldman's initial game, and together might have finally gotten caught here. He does get the parry though over on the captain once again, and the dash through. He's actually gonna pick up the first kill, and he's gonna get out with the help of his team. Any cube, anything? Oh my god, ABL saving together to keep the streak alive.
Oh, it's so beautiful. What a tragic moment here. Now Hayes hunting down for more, gets those stacks of fixation, looking for another connection. Abrams in a tough spot here, caught in the corner trap, tries to charge his way out of it, but has no chance. And here's the confidence just oozing out of Abrahams, continuing to push forward deeper into the opponent's side of the map. There's walkers to take. There's waves crashing on the Guardian. They don't care. They only want the kills.
Bro, you got like waves to push. They're all still grouped up on this left-hand side of the jungle to look for a fight.
Farm heroes. You don't need to farm creeps. Farm heroes.
That's very true. He's trying to go for the chase down onto Tass.
He's so deep though. And Taz is slipping away. Like there's going to be players coming in for this. The punish is here. Here's together. Coming off the flank. Doesn't have execute, but you're bleeding out here on the holiday. Cool guys don't even watch their opponents bleed out here. 9 streak for together at 11 minutes. He's going to reach a kill per minute this game, Jason. I'm feeling it. This is getting scary. I mean, it's
been scary, man. What game have you been watching?
it's getting worse. That cube save is like, oh, you thought finally they caught the Shiv, and then he hits a sick parry, turns around for a kill, and somehow gets cubed to walk it off.
And no one can even go up against him anymore. I mean, it's been like that for a while, but no one's been able to deal with him. The 11,000 souls. I mean, Fremont the closest at 10k, but even he has to respect it because of the killing blow. Looks like Tass might be running the urn across the map here while a push happens on the right-hand side, looking for a kill into Fremont, potentially a walker with Dimov there. But you know what? We're going to watch together, because why wouldn't you watch the star of this match at the moment? And if he doesn't get the player of the match at this rate, I think Jake said he's going to shave his head live on air.
Yeah, I said that for sure. No, my girlfriend would just break up with me, dog. I can't risk that. The hair is all I got, all right? It's all I got.
Well, why is your relationship based entirely on you having hair or not? That is actually so shallow.
I understand it, because my wife wants me to get a hair transplant, and I'm like, I'm fine going bald, but she's not fine with me going bald, which means I have to not be fine with me going bald. So,
which means Jason is secretly saving for a trip to Turkey fund right now.
Oh, I mean, luckily I'm close to it in Italy. It's very possible. If I show up with my head shaved one day, you'll probably know why.
You'd be so Steve Jobs. Optimizing for maximum Steve Jobs. There's here a tower push coming in. Dimov trying to put a punish down. Gets that ultimate. A lot of fixation stats. Gets pinned out of it, but this Abrams, I mean, there's a lot of stacks on him. He cannot stand toe-to-toe with this Haze, continuing to pump damage in. And here's the catch. Saint coming in to assist this cleanup. More players over the top. And who is it but together to secure the finish kill? Of course it is.
Are we potentially going against Twitch TOS right now with how this match has been going? Like, is this allowed to be viewed?
Illegal activity. There's some illegal activity going on. By the way, the other walker across the map being Siege. Holiday in the wrong neighborhood there. Even Ivy, Sonny's gonna be able to slip out of this one. GT's so desperate for the counter kill, but just can't even get it. I mean, this is the point of the game where you have to try anything. You have to just run down any player you get the chance to. But I mean, look at the HP across the board here from Abrahams. Everyone is healthy. Only Sonya's on the reset. The pressure's overwhelming. I mean, it could go for a mid boss, but why would you? It's 14 minutes into the game. Jason,
trophy collector picked up for together because he's getting that many kills. I think we've had more kills per minute in the last 5 minutes than we've had minions per minute killed for Abrahams with how this game's going. He's looking for another one, looking to add stacks to that trophy collector, and he's going to get it, taking down Captain once again. And this pressure on the left-hand side is going to continue. They're going to get that walker. 2 walkers sub 15 minutes. I think it would have to be the greatest comeback in the world.
Although Paige, I don't know if you want to defend this walker. The walker's very low HP. It's not going to last much longer. Together,
the walker doesn't want to be there.
He's hungry for those stacks. Yeah, the walker's requesting a quick speed zip back to base. Request denied. Save for Yamato. Page ult throws good money after bad. Actually can't even get up to the high ground. 0 value out of the Page ult. This is tragic. This is sad. The funeral dirge plays on.
No. ABL, look what he's got quick buying.
Look, I gotta interject here. This is really important. I've seen enough. Nerf Lash. Thank you.
Magic carpet. He's got magic carpet online, guys. Lock in. He needs to just do whatever it takes to farm these trophy collector stacks. See if
the trophy collector for Tass too.
Oh my god. They're trophy collector maxing. They're buffing the win rate stat. He's got Majestic Leap Magic Carpet. That's so good.
Wait, can you Majestic Leap while on a magic carpet?
I don't think so, because it like fixes your movement. I don't know, man. We got to do some Deadlock science here in this game. I mean, honestly, it's not even that crazy to build Magic Carpet. Like, as silly as it sounds, it's not that crazy because, like, all you need to do in this game for Abrahams is just show up to the fights. I mean, the game is so out of control. Yamato has the ulti, but it's not going to be enough. I mean, the tanking is just ignored. D-Mob just rips the ulti, no stun for that, and more stacks for together. I mean, honestly, why not? Like, at some point, you hit max out Trophy Collector, and you have... Think about the range on Shiv. He's going to be able to ult you from, like, across the freaking map. Oh, and they're just sending him in like a bomb, like a heat-seeking missile. I wish they'd take him deep into the base there. And he's got life buff, too. Get in there, bro. Get deep under those Guardians. Take the 1v4. Like, I'm pretty sure he can do it. I'm pretty sure he can, actually.
Even ABL showing some movement here, getting the earned tournament enemy territory. Fargareko's just pushing the left lane because he realized there's nothing they can do. But there's going to be no minions to back him up because they've been cut down by Abrahams to prevent him from getting this damage on towards that walker. And the push to continue to come through here now out of Abrahams into the base with the magic carpet goo ball.
Where's the damage follow-up? Where's together? He needs to execute. He's just intelligently sieging the base. I want him to dive deep. Here he goes. Gets a connection. Oh, the dash goes wide, though. That's going to let GT get out of this for now. Execute. Not enough for the kill, but it does allow him to stick onto this Abrams. Skills up in a couple seconds. Abrams knows it, too. He's trying to desperately juke away, get out of range, but it's another stack. And a heal vein kill as well for the Shiv. Holiday trying to get some value. Fargreko trying to put what damage down he can. He pulls ABL into the fountain. There's no mid-boss regions here. This is just a naked base siege. Yamato just doesn't have ulti, and this is getting firmly destructive here. Together, we got to get a quick Trophy Collector stat check at this point in the game.
Jake, you're under investigation for channel point manipulation, by the way. People have lost points in the channel off of your recommendation, including myself.
7%. I bet it's 7%. Y'all bet at 30. That's all I got to say. I bet at 7. Y'all bet at 30. We are not the same. We are not the same. That was my risk management strategy, and you guys are like, yeah, they're going to win for sure. I was betting on it like a 20-to-1 payoff, you fuckers.
He's going to take your 2K channel points CP to the bank and invest it in his 7th house with the market manipulation that happened this last game.
The truth will come out.
Mid-boss like being taken because why not? Again. I think we're at 10 stacks now for together on his Trophy Collector.
Oh my god. Sure. Why not? He needs more late game secure here. I mean, fair enough. Honestly, it's probably a good buy when you're destroying like this. ABL just vacant space with Magic Carpet. Like, legitimately, I think it's a good play. Page goes to the ult, but it's a little off sync because that sleep connect. Oh, it's enough to just get on top of this Page. Another stack for together. Hasn't even lost a real point of HP. Ooh, the hook barely goes wide. Yamato, space created. Going into enemy territory. This is the wrong side of the map, but honestly, it's the type of game you got to make these plays. I've done this play before.
I mean, you see them not even trying to defend anymore. I think they know it's over. We know it's over. Abrahams, they want to get full stacks on the trophy. Oh my god. Full stacks on the trophy collection before they finish off this game. Abrams,
Walker push. Finally, it's a chance to put some counter damage down, but your base may be in a little bit of a tough spot here. Fremont dying in the mid lane. But you know what, Captain? Will he get his man? The one-on-one of the century. He doesn't really have the damage for this. It's kind of painful. Those blue bars on the right side of the screen, you don't need to watch those. There's no important information there. As the Walker,
he got the
Walker down. He's got his man. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Oh, the parry. Okay, Paige. Doesn't save her. But that's the only thing you're going to do to put a stop to the rampage here from together is parry him. It buys you about a second.
How many kills have we had happen so far for Abrahams? I can't wait to see this on the end of the match screen here, but that's, I mean, they're going to close it out. They're going to take their time, though, making sure to get max stacks on their Trophy Collector. But Abrahams are going to be taking the victory here in the night shift number 14 and getting themselves some extra money in their pockets as well here, Jake. There's nothing the Furies can do about this.
Yeah, I mean, Abrahams, they're just waiting for that Buff Enjoyers rebuild, right? They need a true challenger. This is turning into a death match. No one's even attempting to hit the patron. Abrahams just wants those stacks. We need to get a quick mouse over. What's going on before the patron drops? Shiv, there's still one crystal left, but there's kills to be had. The patron, low prio. D-Mob
Actually,
dancing alone.
Jake, I got word from chat. The punishment for channel point manipulation is cat suit cosplay.
Yep, I have heard
Everyone
that.
wants me in a cat suit. Everyone wants me in a cat suit. Y'all do whatever it takes. Y'all are desperate. Oh my god. Oh my god. They don't have they have one crystal left. Okay, it's going to ship. It's actually perfect for Abraham's. Somebody, the creeps do God's work. We're begging. We're praying for you, troopers. We're praying for you, troopers. Close this one out. Is together has to have surpassed 1 kill per minute. The game's ending. It's going to be what, 21 minutes? Coming up on 22. We'll see. We'll see. We don't know if the game's ending right now.
The base. 4 more kills, and Sonya's here just trying to close it out by himself. He might even fall for this one though, and no reach to get him back alive once again. Okay, the cavalry's here. They're gonna finish this one off finally. That one trooper, the real MVP, keeping their hopes alive. Saying, guys, should we be hitting this and not them?
All right, 21-20. Game end. We need to check the kills here. 1 kill per minute. I don't know if I've ever seen a 1 kill per minute game in Night Shift. I mean, that's like should be an impossible threshold for Together. You got to ban Together Shiv, man. There's too many things you have to ban against Abraham's, but you really have to ban the Together Shiv.
Well, of all the finals we've had here on Deadlock Night Shift, this was one of them. Probably one of the most severe beatings we've gotten as the final map of the series, where, look, you know, it's that sort of game when the analysis flies out the window and you're talking about how to punish Jake for market manipulation, you know, as your key talking point.
It's not a good sign. It's not a strong sign for the competitiveness of the match.
Yeah, these
Jake,
things usually go.
I lost my house and had to move back in with my parents. How could you do this? How could you recommend Fearless Furies? I owe channel points to 3 local crime families and owe blood to a witch. I can't believe you told me to spend my channel points.
Stop buying lattes. Make your coffee at home.
The reason why you can't afford a house is your avocado toast.
It's the avocado toast and the lattes, all right? Those are my key points of financial advice.
And listening to Jake on predictions.
Production sitting here just going,
my preds again. you guys are irresponsible.
I just didn't have my camera on the entire time. I was in the darkness is what was going on. That's why we were on that screen for that period of time. That was all me. But
I just need to be reminded who won. That's why.
Oh yeah, I mean, truly. I do want to see the stats screen though. I know like that is the main thing we're waiting for right now, is seeing the stats screen before going into MVP, because really it's about seeing what the kills were, but we also have some highlights. We got some parries. One of the few times things were looking good for Fearless Furies in the game, but the rest of this, I mean, it gets a little bit ugly. There's one point where ABL is checking random veils and sees Fargareco just cowering before getting executed in one big gooey blast.
Finally.
It's like Death Alley.
That's his one death, right? Is that his one death? Oh, that is. Oh, we got a tragedy in slow motion, man. Tragedy in slow mo. Sonya, I mean,
okay,
like,
he redeemed himself though.
Sonya's just like the honest objective taker of this game. Like everyone else at Abraham's is like just absolutely having fun with it, just memeing, going for crazy deathmatch team fights. Sonya doing God's work, keeping the base pushed, sieging things down. You know what? Somebody's got to do it, and who better than the Ivy? Oh, and that's like last.
Oh, that cube save.
I think he gets one more tick, he dies. Because he's ticking from his own bloodletting plus the Vin Crow. I mean, this guy, he just gets lassoed under Walker and takes the fight.
I think the wild thing
is he die here too? Oh, okay, so 2 deaths.
Okay. When you look at a game like this,
kind of a weak game.
You could put Fearless Furies,
Magic Carpet Bomb is a highlight.
You could put Fearless Furies against most of the teams that exist in Europe, and they would probably do to them what Abraham's just did to them. To me, it shows like the level of skill depth that you have in Deadlock, that you can have all players at the highest level, you know, turn of 6, etc., and still see such a big difference between two teams, even at this level. It's just wild how deep the skill curve goes, and oh god, this stats
together, 24 kills in 21 minutes, but 35% of his sole income came from enemy kills. He wasn't even farming troopers or jungle or objectives. He just was farming kills for his money.
Literally farming enemy heroes.
And 7% of his income came from trophy collector.
Turns out just killing them all is a little bit better than having trophy collector stacks. 24, 2, and 12. That is insane.
Is that the first time we've seen Cheat Death ever bought in this game? For by the way, for
who bought Cheat Death?
D-Mob did. He didn't come close to dying.
No, it's perfect because you stay alive longer and you get more trophy stacks. Think about it. It's the
synergy, Jake.
The synergy.
I want to be clear. I don't think Cheat Death ever procced this game. It felt like a flex buy overall. Flex isn't flex on the opposing team, not any other.
It's a very flexible item buy for roaming Haze. I mean, he's also 11-1-17. So you know what? Hard to be too critical of pretty much anything that's going on in this game. I mean, this is just Abraham's putting on a show for us. You know, honestly, they're throwing down the gauntlet. Like, Buff and George, where are you at? We're farming this tournament week to week now. I mean, and that's the OG rivalry, right? We need if Abraham's are the villain team hitting this like style kill farming, fountain farming end game, we need to have the heroes of Buff and George back soon to at least put up a challenge against this monster squad together. One of the most dominant, obvious MVP performances we've ever had in the night shift. I mean, disgusting stats, cleaning up the map, dominating the lane, and then just, I mean, fountain camping heroes at the end. Like, that's pretty hard to do in Deadlock, and he made it work.
You know, to give people an idea, obviously, I mean, together just put on a masterclass with Shiv. But the thing is, even Buff enjoyers back in the One Win Bombshell Volume 6, I think the latest one we had, together did the exact same thing to them. Or was it number 5? He did the exact same thing to them, to Virtus Pro. Like, that's how crazy his Shiv can be and how much he can snowball a game when he's given a lead. It doesn't matter how good you are if you're playing against the best team in EU and he can do the exact same thing to them. That's why you see respect bans on his Shiv, and for good reason.
I would say for Together Shiv is effectively, you think about other examples of signature hero players in the game, easily to me on the same level as, say, Ido's Pocket was in NA at one point. It's too good. And part of it is that, I mean, look, there was a period of time where we saw Together play nothing but Shiv for 3 months straight because it wasn't that contested of a pick somehow for a period in Deadlock. And it was always Together on Shiv. It was usually Saint on Kelvin. And what we've learned in recent times is no Kelvin, no problem. Still can make the Shiv work and look absolutely amazing.
ZP Jake, I got to bring in some quick info here from Low 2, one of our production team members. First time Cheat Death's ever been bought in Night Shift, but we've had it 3 times in Fight Night with number 25, 27, 29 with Vegas, Dew, and Lefa. But what I want to know is, were they flex buys too, or was it a legitimate buy out of them then?
Did Cheat Death used to be better? I feel like it did at some point. Or no, I'm thinking of Soul Rebirth. I'm thinking of Soul Rebirth, actually.
Yeah, Soul Rebirth was great. I mean, look, that got killed right before it became the ultimate meta, because I think the patch right before it got killed, we had one game where it was like 11 out of 12 players had picked Soul Rebirth.
Yeah. That item was absurd. And then they put in the reju, which kind of makes you think. But, I mean, this game, man, the highlights speak for themselves, right? Like, Fearless Furies all on the respawn. Abraham's walking off the patron here. I will say, I think we have a much more stacked and competitive lineup here in the North American matches, but today in European Deadlock, it is just one team running the table. Abraham's trying to build a dynasty with this roster, and they are off to a very threatening start, throwing down the gauntlet to any would-be challengers here from the region.
Jason, Shiv aside, what stood out to you about the new iteration of Abraham's, relative to the Fearless Furies or not? What thoughts do you leave with?
Shiv. No, I'm just kidding. And ABL flexing to a couple of heroes we don't normally see him on, like the Viscous. We only got to see him play Viscous tonight. But I think there's a really interesting dynamic within the team. So we're seeing him flex over to heroes that D-Mob would play, and D-Mob is flex over to heroes that he normally would never play within Buff Enjoyers. And I'm really curious to see how that kind of develops over time for this team, because it's only been about, like a week since they've been on the roster? Yeah, because they weren't on the roster last week. For them to already show these adaptations is really interesting, and I think when Buff Enjoyers get their full squad together, honestly, I think it's going to take them a bit of time before they can take Abraham's down at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, I think the interesting part is that, you had mentioned it earlier, Jason, but the idea of replacing D-Mov, it's not easy. And, Jake, obviously you've come from, competitive play in Overwatch being, 6v6, etc. And, people might go, oh, replacing one player, how big of a deal is it? And, Jake, depending on the player pool, it can be pretty difficult.
I mean, somebody like Dimov is like, that's the nightmare scenario, trying to find a replacement. Somebody who can play like multiple different roles, different levels of economy allocation, can kind of fill in any draft. It just gives you such a powerful weapon in every single game. Like, you don't know exactly how you're going to use it, but that only makes it stronger, especially in the draft phase. Like, people can't even ban you out. They can't stop you from getting something you're sick at. You know, it's just something you don't have to worry about whatsoever. Finding a player like that, I mean, good luck, frankly. I just think Dimov, one of the very best players in the game right now. Like, if you had 6 players, the very 6 best players in the world, honestly, for me, Dimov makes that list. And so, yeah, like, look, you're never going to feel good trying to replace a player like that. If Buff Enjoyers wants to, you know, really take it to this new Abraham's roster, they're going to have to dig deep. They're going to have to maybe develop, right? It's maybe more than just finding a player who's already that good. I don't think that's possible. I think you have to build as a team, but that has always been the Buff Enjoyers way. They've been the team that has built on their team play, that has had really impressive execution, even in the past iterations of Abraham's, where Abraham's had like the stronger individual play, was winning their lanes. Buff Enjoyers was still able to get wins from really stellar team play, strategic understanding of the game. And that is actually, I think, more important in Deadlock than your raw mechanical skill. So I do think there are ways back into this for Buff Enjoyers, and I won't count them out just yet. They haven't even had their chance to play with the new roster. I give a lot of respect to the players and the staff on that team for all they've been able to accomplish so far. And I'm just excited to see what they have. Hopefully we have them on next week, because it would be awesome to see them clash against this new and revamped Abraham's team.
All right, so we got an interview before we head off to North America. It's going to be Saint joining us in just a moment. I'm seeing him getting checked in the green room. I mean, truthfully, I thought we were just going to drag Saint up immediately, and I jumped the gun for a moment, but...
Well, that's because, ZP, we have... hopefully, fingers crossed, a slight change to the show of what we would normally do, because we don't get to see the faces of the players, but we have a little surprise for the viewers, and I'm trying to slowly stretch it right now to hopefully time it perfectly for when Saint gets dragged into this room, and then we can have our new addition to the show, which might catch some of you off guard, because you may have not seen this play. Okay, I could just keep going.
Yeah,
But we're going nowhere.
Keep going, man. This could be a while. Like, just keep going. Like, we'll see where it stops. I mean, we don't need the same. Me and Jake are just like sitting here, like, yep.
You're doing great, bud. You're doing great. Keep up the good hustle there.
Now, I know you guys have had iPhone 27, but what about a new revolutionized iPhone 28 with its 23rd camera in the back? You can now see through walls. No, I think it's actually great. Like, Saint's been streaming a lot. I like hopped into a stream. Obviously, he can speak English. It's really cool to see a lot more of these players streaming. And Saint's been, I mean, he kind of came into the competitive scene, I would say, like, relatively unknown. I think before we saw him playing, I can't remember if it was Abraham's or a different team, because it was after like the 1win / DMS. DMS? Was it DMS?
Wait, you're going back to... Yeah, I mean, you go far enough back, you have like the DMS. Yeah, DMS was the team name.
DMS and 1win. He wasn't around in any of those teams. And then he kind of came around once the splits happened, and he's rose to the ranks as being such a solid player and a solid support player. It's really cool to see there's still a lot of untapped talent. Like, for instance, OCs is one of the ones we've been talking about today. Okay, now officially, we're welcoming Saint for the interview, which may have camera this time. Saint, welcome
hello, guys.
to the show. And, you know, I was going to joke that Saint is just like a block of color, but instead, no, Saint is as you'd expect. Well, first off, congratulations on the win. And, you know, I'll keep things simple here. New roster for Abraham's. Is this the new final roster for Abraham's, or, you know, what's the roster situation like? Because there's been a lot of shifts over the last few weeks.
I think it's maybe final roster for the 2 or 1 month. Everything can change. I don't know, maybe Buff Enjoyers will try to get back Dimov. Maybe somebody wanna leave. I don't know. Everything can happen. Like, we don't know.
I mean, this today was like a huge, you know, beat down from you guys. Like, game 1 had some closer moments. It was like a little bit more competitive, but game 2, obviously you guys are having a lot of fun with it, you know, realizing the advantage you're at in the game. So I kind of want to zoom out a little bit wider for you guys and think about, for potential opponents in the future. You know, Buff Enjoyers is rebuilding. Is there anyone else? I know you had previously talked about Fearless Furies in the Trolli Invitational, but is there anyone else, any teams you're on the lookout for, any even just like players in the ranked ladder that you kind of want to see in competitive Deadlock that you want to call out or expect to see maybe as competitors soon?
I think like there's no new players that can do something incredible and show good games, because everybody that wanna play is already playing. Others people don't have enough experience tournaments, scrims, and they're just not ready for this at this moment.
Well, I mean, you haven't seen me play just quite yet. I'm just saying. But that's because I'm down in Initiate 1. We haven't met up quite yet in any Deadlock matches. Okay. Do you have another question, Jake, or can I hop in?
Go in, Jason.
Okay. So I'm curious, and maybe you can't tell us this, which is okay if that's the answer. Why did ABL leave? And then what happened to bring him and D-Mob back into the team?
It's a difficult question to ask to answer actually, because I think I don't.
You don't have to answer, by the way.
I don't think that I need to answer this question. I don't think that I need to answer this question.
I respect.
Let me change the question then.
Professional player, smart answer.
Let me change the question then. How did the whole bringing ABL and DMOV come to be? Like, did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? Like, how did you guys come together to form this new Abrahams?
As I know, we lost our last night shift. I go sleep and I wake up and I see messages that DMOV and ABL want to play in our team, like together wrote it to us. And we just said, yeah, okay, let's go, why not? Because we know that Hoot and Obicon will come back to Buff Enjoyers and they try Cosmetical. And we just need 2 players to continue playing tournaments and scrims, and ABL and DMOV want to play, and we just, yeah, let's go, why no?
I just love it. You wake up and then together it's like ABL and DMOV are joining. Okay, cool. Done.
That's like me waking up on match day and finding out that EU across multiple teams has changed their rosters significantly in just 24 hours. Look, we got on our side too. I want to do a game-related question here, based on some of the meta things we've been seeing, but this is more a historical thing where you had a long period of time where you got to play a whole lot of Kelvin, and obviously Kelvin has been pretty unavailable to you in recent times. Are you actually secretly hoping for Kelvin nerfs so you actually get to play Kelvin again, because you've been denied what has been your signature hero for a long period of time now?
Actually, I wanna play Kieran because it's one of my favorite hero, and yeah, I think they need to nerf him. Like, his ultimate is so broken. He nerf his lane, they nerf his HP regen, they nerf his ult, but I don't know. Just need more nerfs, more. Like Paradox. Paradox got nerfed maybe 50 times, I don't know. And Kelvin need, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 nerfs, and it's gonna be good. Like, it's balanced.
That makes sense. I have a question for you guys. I mean, you guys bought Trophy Collector in this last game as a bit of a meme, But I will say we've seen in some other much more competitive games a little bit of Trophy Collector buying after the recent buff. Do you think there's room for that item to be like a legit buy, maybe like in like one player on a team, in the right spot, as like an actual strong item, maybe replacing something like Cult Sack or maybe other items?
I think Trophy Collector is pretty good item when you have a strong lanes and when you're ahead, like maybe 10 or 15k at minute 10. Because in this game there is a comeback mechanic that if you are losing money, you are getting more money from creeps, box, skills, from everything. And when you buy Trophy, even if you fight with them, like you kill them, you get money, passive money after kills. And even if they farm, you are getting money too. So it's like a really good item to not let enemy come back when they are losing. Like if you are winning, you will just start winning more, like in a 5 minutes. Yeah, but in this game it was just, I don't know, funny, like that. Go full stacks Trophy Collector, like DMOV together, and everybody bought it.
Look, DMOV is 100% win rate on Cheat Death. No one can take that away from him. We're here to mess with anyone that just looks at a spreadsheet. Jason, you got any final questions before we send Saint on his well-deserved victory run?
I could have one more, though it's more of like a serious question, because I'm curious about how the way you guys are slotting in ABL and DMOV with the hero pools that they bring to the team. We looked at the Yamato game thinking ABL was going to be on Yamato and that DMOV was going to be on Viscous, but in fact it was actually together playing the Yamato and ABL on the Viscous. So are you guys still in like the learning phase of like how you want to put who on what, or do you guys already have like a set plan in place of who's kind of filling what role? Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
I think in our roster, everybody can play on every hero if he understands his role, what he need to do, and he know how to play on this hero. So if Dimov wanna play Dorman, Viscas, Viper, okay, bro, no problem. If you know how to play, if you know how to win, let's go. I know. And yeah, we can flex heroes. Dimov, ABL together have not the same, but they can flex heroes with each other.
Makes you guys very
And,
deadly, to be honest.
Yeah, and about Dimov and ABL, like we were working with ABL like for 1 or 2 months, as I remember, and nothing changed. But Dimov was a really big surprise for me. Like I was thinking maybe he's a little bit evil rage guy, but he's super. He's super. I don't know, smart. He understands what he's doing. I don't know. It's super. I really like to work with Dimov in one team.
Look, from my perspective, no one gets to be a top Deadlock player without having a little bit of rage inside them. You just got you got to go through a lot of games to get good at the game. But Saint, thank you so much for joining us on the interview. Great to have you here, and great to have the camera up too. But congrats again on your victory. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye bye. Bye bye.
All right, moving along. Well, not only are we going to be taking a break in just a moment to head into North America, but we got a special bit of extra content. It's going to be Name That Thing, starring Jason Kaplan hosting, and some of your favorite Deadlock players around. It's content I don't even know the full context of, but we've done it before, and you get a first view of it here as we take a break and get ready for North America.